if you're skinny, thin, fat, round, anything, you can become a model. And I do think it's good because I think everybody is beautiful in their own way. On the other hand, it does stop the actual models from getting work.
Ladies in beauty pageants and young girls in beauty pageants from I think the ages of 6 upwards to about 14, the mental health rates where people were diagnosed with clinical anxiety and depression was about 65%.
And they do not care about who you are or your personality or that you've got a heart. They literally just do not care.
Welcome back to the PerformWell podcast. This is the podcast for you if you're looking for performance and wellness optimization so that you can not only smash your career, but also have a better life, better relationships, and better health. We believe that performance and wellness are yin and yang and work together. So listen in as we dive into topics that are going to help you optimize your life for the better. Welcome back to the PerformWell podcast. Today we have Dan as usual, and we have KayJay, a fashion model turning into a fitness model now, I believe.
Oh, hey.
And KayJay, what is it that's set you off on this path in going to the gym more and trying to develop your body?
So for me, actually, it's kind of like, I don't know, self-love, because I kind of, in the modelling industry, you kind of just feel pressured all the time to look good, but also you want to feel good. Like, I just didn't feel good, so I was like, do you know what? I'm going to try it out. I'm going to start going to the gym. So that's where it started.
And how long have you been doing it for now? How long have you been going into the gym and, say, consistently training?
Oh, I'd say probably like the last 7 months, maybe consistently. But probably about the last year I've been going. But
Okay.
yeah.
And what did it look like beforehand? So before you kind of stepped foot into the gym and started training as much as you did, what's kind of a bit of a background to your kind of experience with fitness, well-being, health, that whole shebang?
So I'm really into like well-being and stuff and like mental health and things like that. But I kind of started getting into like Pilates and yoga, which I do really enjoy. And then obviously just the gym and stuff. I just started going to classes and then eventually just started going every day to the gym.
Yeah. And I think if you can obviously see KayJay, she's a little tall lady. And
6 foot queen?
Yeah, 6'1" was it?
6 foot and then,
Bloody hell.
wow, 6 foot and a bit, but I round down.
So what are some of the problems that you found as a tall female when it comes to getting in shape?
Okay, I feel like it's like posture and form. Like a lot of the time I see girls at the gym and I'm like, why don't I look like that when I do that? And then I look back and I'm like, well, I do. I'm just a lot longer, so it looks completely different. So I do find myself often like comparing myself to other people, like, why do I not look like that? But in reality, everybody's bodies are different.
Tell me about it. I'm not a female by any standard, but I am tall and I have the same problem that you probably have.
Literally daily.
Like, I'm actually quite interested actually with clothing, especially. Like, I actually struggle to get jeans and trousers that fit. That same thing for you as well?
All the time, and that's why I'm really lucky that I actually do model, is because designers can obviously cater to your body. So these are in the tool collection. Most of my stuff I either shop in the tool collection or get made, so I'm very lucky in that way. But gym clothes, okay, anyone, gym companies make tall women leggings, because every single pair of leggings I've had have split down the leg, split down the bum, because they're just not stretchy enough for my legs.
I'm actually really surprised by that. That's not an area... Because the thing is, like, if we think about the modelling industry, we've gone into plus size, we've gone into the tall men. Like, tall men have their own area for gym clothing now as well.
Exactly.
But how have we not gone into this area? Like, how have we not ventured into tall women yet? Because surely that's the next thing you go along and do anyway. Like, surely it coincides almost with doing plus size models. Because it just fits... Weird. I didn't even know that. I didn't know that.
There's not... You don't meet many females that are tall, or at least tall, like, 6 foot, for example.
Yeah.
But I would say you see a lot more men that are taller, on average.
Well, yeah, you do. I think...
Environment.
It does compare though, because you think about different countries as well. So say you've got places like China, Asia, and then Middle East, people tend to be shorter out there. And I think the average height is like 5'8" or something like that. Whereas when you come out to the UK, Western countries, like people are naturally taller. So it's interesting that people haven't catered for that as well. And I think one thing that you brought on there was exercise and exercise execution too, because it's really easier on social media to sit there and watch a video and see like, oh, that's how it's meant to be done. And then you do it and go, that didn't feel right. Why didn't that feel right? I'm not too sure. Like me and Nick will execute exercises slightly differently due to limb lengths, due to sizes.
And his massive ass, which everyone...
And my massive ass. And my massive ass. Yes, that one.
Dan's
You-
arse,
you-
look
you-
at that.
You're
That's
dropping
every
this in
DM
every
I get,
pod
man.
now.
Like-
I'm literally going to have to start my own OnlyFans by the end of this podcast. And I'll do it.
Dan
love
kindly said to me last time, you got really good back, Nick. Obviously not legs. And I was like, cheers, Dan.
Aww.
chicken legs, man.
I've got to take something from the podcast.
You don't know what it's like to be a tall man with these legs, bro.
Yeah, and a tall woman, okay?
Yeah. Like,
I thought you were just going to end at tall man. I was like, I'm hurt there.
I'm sure when it comes to building like glutes, thighs, etc., it's probably quite tough.
And especially like modelling and stuff, you've always got to be as skinny as possible.
Yeah.
So it's hard to be skinny and have some sort of figure or bum. So yeah, it's very difficult.
I think it's interesting. We can come into that conversation now. So we wanted to speak to you a little bit about kind of beauty standards in the modelling industry too, and how they've changed over the years. Because I think for years, and I've spoken to clients all the time about this, me and Nick have had conversations too, how we've kind of undulated through different body types throughout the industry. However, I think one thing that stayed pretty consistent is when you go to kind of the, raw modelling world, let's say kind of Vogue, Fashion Week, that kind of stuff, we're still down that kind of tall, slim structure. That is, what people desire. However, throughout beauty standards, throughout kind of social norms, we've gone from curvy, we've gone from slim built, we're now, low-waisted jeans are now back in again. That's where people are going. So for you, how have you and your own experiences kind of seen things change, and then what's your opinion on it?
Well, that's a hard one because nowadays you can't really say much without getting in trouble. But I do think that a tall, slim model is the go-to. I think it's, I don't know, I just feel like if you're different, it's something you can go, I don't know. I've got to be careful what I say here. Like growing up, I always wanted to be a model. I was always really skinny, always really tall. And that was kind of, you couldn't be a model if you weren't skinny and tall. And it was great because literally nobody was ever a model that I knew. I was the only model in my school. Literally knew nobody that modelled. But nowadays, anybody can become a model. If you're skinny, thin, fat, round, anything, you can become a model. And I do think it's good because bodies change, bodies are different. And I think everybody is beautiful in their own way. On the other hand, it does stop the actual models from getting work because anybody will just do it for free. So that's where I struggle. Like I go to jobs and stuff and all the models do it for free. And then they're like, oh, KayJay, will you do it for free? Like I've not been a model for 8 years to come and do a job for free. Do you know what I mean? And I think in that way, it really annoys me because models do it for free and they take the jobs from us. So that annoys me. But then on the other hand, I'm like, everybody's beautiful. I think that everybody should be like equal and allowed to be how they want to be. But I don't know, I'm iffy on it.
Well, it's interesting you said that because a little while ago, Sports Direct started showing overweight models.
Right.
In the, what do you call those? Mannequins. Yeah. They started doing oversized mannequins and started showing off the fact that you can have plus size bodies and it's acceptable. What do you think of that? Because I haven't seen that come up in the last few years. That was about COVID time, I think, or just before COVID.
It was, yeah.
And since then, I haven't seen anything about oversized models being promoted.
This is the thing. I think it kind of became, it's bad to say, but almost a trend of let everybody be who they want to be, which is great. I love that because you should be allowed to do that. But I do think certain jobs are for certain people. But then again, if you're buying clothes, you want to see what it looks like on your body type. So great, if there's a plus size mannequin, great, because if you look like that, then you know it's going to fit you. But then I suppose you go down the rabbit hole of you have to have all different types of mannequins, skinny, fat, thin, tall, short, like it just never ends. So I feel like if you just find a happy medium and just stick with that, that's kind of what I think. What do you think?
I mean, it's an interesting one for sure. When I look at those overweight models, I think similar in the sense that there are jobs for certain people, and I'm not saying that they can't be models because there are some generally beautiful overweight people in this world, for sure. I mean, my days in Tinder in the past highlighted that fact. That's not the point. Long before Emma, of course. And let's not go down the relationship bag right now. What was I going to say? I was going to go down the topic of that lady, Adele. Because, Adele was overweight and she had a fan base and they all obviously loved...
They loved her, didn't they?
They loved her.
Yeah.
And then she lost weight and then they suddenly started throwing basically crap at her in the way that they were like...
But then, that really annoys me. What is it to do with you? Whether I'm fat, thin, thick, like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But do you get any hate?
Oh, all the time. Like, genuinely. When I first started, so I started when I was 13, I was size 6. I was literally skin and bones. And that's what they wanted, which was great. But it was just like, I'd go to a job and they'd be like, KayJay, you're too fat. how are you telling a 13-year-old you're too fat and that, oh, your bum's a little bit big for that, or I don't know, your arms are a little bit big for that? I'm the smallest size I can possibly be. How are you telling a 13-year-old they're fat? So I have really struggled in that way. Again, another reason I like going to the gym is to feel good in myself. And I've always kind of needed a little bit of validation to feel good, because that's the industry I've been in. And it's been really hard, but now I just don't give a shit.
That sounds like those American beauty pageants with the kids, doesn't it?
Oh, brutal.
It's literally that.
And the mums are like, oh, you're too fat. And they're literally like the equivalent of a
Have you
size
seen
6.
the mad thing is they still go on to this day, and I say that with a pinch of salt because I think I'm fascinated by it, that we've had so much come out in literature, in research-backed studies, in surveys, in everything, talking about how negative this plays a role. There was actually a study that came out ages ago, and I think they found that ladies in beauty pageants and young girls in beauty pageants from I think the ages of 6 upwards to about 14, the mental health rates where people were diagnosed with clinical anxiety and depression was about 65% in those pageants, which is mad that over half of the girls in those pageants ended up with clinical, so diagnosed anxiety and depression because of what's going on. Because of going to the pageants and the kind of like forceful nature of the mums pushing them through and doing those pageants. That's why I find it quite surprising that things like this still go on. That I understand it, that it's always going to go in the background. It's very popular. They make probably a lot of money off it too. But obviously staging through that, I just find that kind of the nature of it makes it very hard to kind of almost have a positive point and reflection on it. I get it, the winner feels great, but like, how long do you feel great for? And actually, KayJay, you raised a great point there. Was about in your industry, people saying that you were fat at 13. How do you think that's affected your mindset recently?
Well, this is the thing, actually. Now, I just genuinely don't give a shit.
Good.
When I was 13 at the time, it really hurt me. Like, I got really bullied at school, and you'll never be anything, and you're not a proper model, and this and that. And I'm like, well, look at me now. I'm joking.
I love it.
But yeah, so I've always been used to being called like, oh, you're too fat and you're too this. But I know I wasn't fat. But I look back at pictures now and I think how skinny and like scarily skinny I was. I'm like, I can't be like that. And now I just think, do you know what? If I'm happy, who gives a shit? Which is why I say, like, back to what you said earlier about body positivity and like mannequins and things like that. If you want to be that way, you be that way. But I do think there is a fine line in the modelling industry that people need to not cross, because your body's your body and that's your safe place. And I really disagree with, like, I don't know, negativity around bodies and stuff.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because I know myself, I'm pretty sure Dan, I think we talked about this once, but we've all looked at ourselves in the past and gone, actually I was in really good shape. You know what I mean? And then you feel like you weren't at the time, and then you always like criticize yourself. And then it was me and my mate Mike, that was it, sorry, me and my mate Mike, we're both 33 years old, so we're getting old now, all right?
Getting old, yeah, all right.
I got your Zimmer in the back, mate, don't worry.
Yeah, we're getting the grey hairs, we're starting to creep into mid-age now. We were talking about when we were shredded in 2016, when we were doing our bodybuilding shows, and we had a few steroids in there and stuff. But we felt at the time that we were never good enough, because in the fitness industry, which I don't know if it's similar to the fashion industry, but everyone is based on the looks of being shredded, lean, toned, defined. And I didn't feel big enough, I didn't feel lean enough, no matter what I did. And then when I look back, I looked better than most people did.
And do you know what? That's literally the exact same as the modelling industry.
Yeah.
Hit the nail on the head, exactly that. It is all about what you look like. And they do not care about who you are or your personality or that you've got a heart. They literally just do not care. And that's one of the only reasons I actually was okay, was my family. Like, they're amazing. So they've always just told me, like, KayJay, go, like, you're fine the way you are and things like that. So I've been lucky in that sense. But if you're not strong enough, you'll get eaten alive.
See, it's interesting as well. Like, I think Miss Great Britain still goes on to this day, doesn't it? You've got all those huge pageants going on. We actually know one of the ladies who went and put on it, didn't we?
You mentioned this, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
McCarthy, one of the McCarthy sisters.
Oh, Victoria.
Yeah, she went and did it. Victoria went and did it. Yeah. And they've added in there, I saw in her story, because I was really curious when it was going on. I love the little insiders into this kind of stuff. And they did a section on personality. Like, they've started bringing that in. But what's your kind of viewpoint on that? Because you're saying they still to this day judge things based on appearance no matter what. Do you think that's almost just, I hate to say it, a cover-up for them still to be like, oh, we're including this. We don't really care about it though.
1000%. Because I'm not being funny, you're not going to show your true personality. If you're in a show, you're going to be like, oh, I'm so kind and caring and I do all of this for charity. And no, you don't. Like, if you were to ask anyone they went to school if they would be like, they're bullies. Like, it's just not... I just think it's a little crap.
I suppose I had that in Miss Congeniality.
I love that film.
You remember that film?
It's
like,
great.
what's that, 20 years old now?
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock?
Yeah, she's my favourite actor. Yeah.
You don't remember that, do you?
Nope.
How old are you, sorry, KayJay?
22.
Yeah. How do you know that and you don't?
What do you mean? I don't watch every film. What are you expecting? You seen The Minions?
Yeah, of course.
The fuck? God damn it.
I've seen The Incredibles. Anyway, right.
Yeah, anyway.
So, Miss Congeniality, they were doing something similar there, weren't they? Like, oh, look at me, I'm the, like, I'm saving the earth and stuff like that.
That's exactly what they did. Like, to be fair, I did a pageant once, and it was when I was 14, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I was just obviously getting into the modelling industry. And they asked us to do, this is tea, guys, okay? They asked us to do, like, charity work. So me and my mum would go out, because my mum's like, she loves doing things for charity and events and stuff. So we went out and we packed a load of bags up for, like, homeless people with, like, sleeping bags, food. Like, we were genuinely doing a nice thing. We were out for the whole day, right? I worked my arse off on this because I wanted to try and win the award, which was Miss Charity. And I won it, but it's just so fake, because the only reason I won it was because I could prove that I had done those things. 10 other models applied for it, but they had no proof that they did things. So all they did was literally just put this thing to make it look like they were actually doing charity work, to make it look like they were including everybody, when they didn't do anything. Whereas me and my mum went out and did stuff for charity, but nobody else did anything.
I hate
that?
fake. I hate fake. I think authenticity. I know social media has talked about a lot about authenticity being more popular nowadays, but I still think that people are promoted for being fake.
Yeah.
Most people will give $10 to a homeless guy, but film it.
And they take it back.
When they don't need to film it.
Yeah.
They could just give the $10, help the guy out, and move on.
It frustrates me. You honestly will set me off on one about that, because it fucking frustrates me so much. Like, social media, just as a whole, in the fitness scene, is so annoying to the point where I was watching something today where a guy, do you remember the Asian guy who used to do mad stuff with, like, dumbbell curls, kettlebell swings, ripped, and he had, like, green kind of garden fencing behind him?
6-pack.
No. You always say this. No, it's you do it every single podcast. I know he's the G, but not that guy. It's another guy. He's got 2.2 million followers. He's a very wholesome guy, but he was saying that he was doing exercise. So we do like a bicep curl into a lowering squat. Really, really difficult exercise to do.
I saw him this morning.
Yeah, him.
Older guy, 56.
And he was talking on a podcast.
Yeah, he's squatting with a bicep curl.
But he said he even did exercises that were harmful to his body because the algorithm pushed it.
Did you see this today on Instagram?
Yeah, I saw it today. It came up. Ben Carpenter.
I saw the same thing.
Yeah. That one. That's the one. So he was doing exercises that weren't, there was no viability to them. There was actually no point doing it. And the normal basic exercises you do in the gym, like a squat, so much better. But he was doing this because the algorithm pushed it. Now 2.2 million people are seeing his content, and he even admits to he's going to do what the algorithm says. And this is why there's a mass, and I same with the modelling industry probably. Trends and triggers. People are following that and thinking, just because the algorithm pushes, it makes me more popular and more money. That's it. But we don't think about the underpinning of what this does to other people that then digest and use that content further forward. Probably for yourself, because people will be doing things that aren't them. They'll do shoots that aren't them.
And this is the thing. People are so fake. And that's why I try and promote a healthy, happy model. I've had no lip filler, no anything. Natural body, natural everything. And I try and stay real, because that's just what I'm about. And I don't want to promote being fake and hopping on trends just because they're trending or for the algorithm. Like, no, that's not a bit of me. I just feel like everybody nowadays is so fake, and I just can't stand being like that.
I think the difficulty comes as well when one of the things you said there was obviously completely natural, but do you get people then turn around to you and say, oh, you're lucky though? Like, do you get that other? Because that's, I think the problem is we've got both angles, haven't we? Yeah. Where everyone's like, be yourself, be you. And then you'll come around saying, I'm natural, like I haven't any filler, I haven't anything like this. And people are like, oh, like you're saying you're natural.
This is the thing. I'm like, if, it sounds really bad, but if you literally have paper thin lips and you're really insecure about it, go and get filler. If you really hate your nose because it's huge, go and get it done. But just stay natural and as true to yourself as you can be. You don't need to be getting lip filler 20 times as big as it. Like, you just don't need that. Fine, a little bit if you need it to enhance your features, but don't change your features because you are who you are. What's the point in changing
Amen
it?
to that.
It's true.
Amen to that.
It's true, yeah, 100%. And I think that's the thing that people aren't taking. It's become victim mentality. Everything has become victim mentality. If people are turning around and saying like truthful information now, you know, same for me and Nick. If we put something out there about an exercise is good for you, it's victim mentality. You can only do that because you're a PT. You can only do that because XYZ.
Sorry. So many people that we talk to that are objectively, you know, attractive. For example, OnlyFans, Anna Hunt that we had, Victoria, Daisy, some of the other females we've had. On paper, on the social media side of front, they all look like they're maybe a little bit faker than you probably think they are, and they all say the same thing that you've been saying, that like they're sick of the fakeness, but they do it because it's like
But why?
It's what drives the attention.
Why? Because it makes you feel shit. And it just, this is the thing that really annoys me. And editing. Like, I get, don't get me wrong, some photo shoots I do and the photographer sends me pictures back and he's got rid of a spot I've had or whatever. Fine. As long as you don't change my features or change who I am, then by all means do whatever you want. I can't stand being fake. It actually really, that's one thing that really triggers me.
Yeah.
I just can't stand
You've
it.
seen the Photoshop images back in the day when Instagram was like in its heyday, like when it was really ramping up.
Yeah.
There was apps out there where you could sock in your waist.
There still is now.
Really? Oh my god!
You can still use them now.
But then some people started calling it out. They would get the before and after. They would then actually be able to show what it looked like without it being altered, because some people would do really stupid photoshops where the like a line of a building has been bent.
Yeah.
Just to like suck something in.
Do you know, I literally the other day I saw somebody post a selfie and the door was wonky in the back and somebody commented, your door's wonky, and she deleted it. It's like,
Your door's
what
wonky.
is the point in doing that? Just post a picture or don't.
Yeah.
No.
If you're not happy in it, the way you look, don't post it.
See, I don't know if you know about the Gale sisters from Love Island. Do you know them? They were on Love Island a long while ago.
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
even Just Girl went to my college, and this isn't dropping it, everyone knows this. On Instagram, when we were there, you know, they came to the same college as me. Everyone was on the same kind of level, but you kind of knew they had a lot of money in the background from the family. Right. Anyway, I think it was Jess who posted a photo. It was one of the two of them. They posted a photo, but they used an airbrush to accentuate their bum. But you could see it was airbrush. You zoomed in, and I was like, oh, what? Why is it fuzzy?
So
like, why is your bum
embarrassing.
fuzzy? Like, she never deleted it. It was on there for years and years. You won't find it now because of the amount of posts that she's got on her feed. But they did that, and I thought, man, I was like, these two girls are considered like popular girls in my school. You know, they got the money, they got the look, they drive the nice cars, but they're still not happy with their image. They're still doing it.
And that's exactly how the modelling industry is. Nobody is happy. And even with the gym industry, nobody is happy in their body. And all we try to do is do things to make us feel better.
Yeah.
But do the natural things, like eating well, working out, just being a good person rather than acting fake. Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah, I love that. Have you seen like the fitness females? There's some males doing it as well, but like they'll be in really good shape, and then they'll sit down on a like this on a sofa, and then they'll push their belly out, and then they'll look, we're also the same as you.
Yeah.
Like, just because we got abs doesn't mean that we're not like you. Like, I find that frustrating.
I think it's frustrating because it's forced.
Yeah.
Like, that's for me.
Everyone's
I get it.
got rolls when they sit down.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how lean you are. You
Yeah.
sit down, it crumples up. You could grab something there. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's true.
It's standard, isn't it?
I'm like, I've lost my six pack down here.
I know.
It's gone.
My six pack has now moved down to my like down here.
Never had a six-pack.
It's moved forward. But that is the thing that frustrates. I get positivity and movement. And actually, there is a girl in Bournemouth. She's a PT online coach. Her name's Eva. Move with Eva, something like that. Oh, I can't remember. She's over in Bournemouth, but she kind of practices this whole positivity movement. However, I think and again, the key thing with this, make it look natural for you. Don't just do it and say, look at me, I'm fitting in with society because everyone's now doing this. No, if you look that way, calm, you're doing a workout, you just don't pull your leggings all the way up or whatever, then that is naturally what a lot of people are going to look like. But making it almost a forced concept where you're sat on the sofa kind of demonstrating something that other people feel very self-conscious about, I think there's that fine line and grey area that gets covered over a lot.
Yeah.
Really is.
And to be honest, right, if we're going to go on the topic of the gym, because obviously you are someone that's been taking up the gym a lot more recently, we know that training yourself can make you feel more confident and look more attractive, at least in your own eyes, let alone other people's eyes. Is that something that you found to be the case from someone that's already successful as a model, attractive in the eyes of, the modeling industry, have you found the gym has improved that for yourself?
I think yes and no. I mean, in myself, I feel better than I ever have, like mentally and stuff. And I have seen changes, like I've lost a few inches and gained a few inches where I want to and things like that. And my family, even my mum actually this morning said to me, like, you're looking good, Kay. Like, people have told me, but then again, I do think I don't give a shit what people think. Like, I just really don't. So it's how I feel. Like, somebody could compliment me every single day, which is great. But if I don't feel that, it doesn't matter to me. But yeah, I do feel really good from going to the gym, and I know that I look good in photo shoots and stuff, so I haven't got to really worry about like, oh, do I look fat in this, or is this out, or is this out, because I know that I work out and I know that I try to look good, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
and you've got good feedback. Like, you've got obviously 20,000 Instagram followers, I believe. And you've got a career in modelling, then you've got social feedback that you are doing well in that regard. So, it would make anyone feel more confident. But those that don't have that, the 20k Instagram followers, they don't have the modelling career, and they're not feeling particularly the most attractive about themselves. They don't look at themselves in the mirror very often, or if they do, it's after they've put makeup on. What do we do with those girls? And men out there, of course, like both count.
That's a good shout.
It's really, really tough because there is such an essence of low confidence. I think the disparity in the gap between uber confident individuals and completely downtrodden confidence is getting wider. And that's my genuine thesis on it. I don't think we are improving the nation or the world's confidence in the way that we're going about things, because I think a lot of the time, and it's, again, we go back to comparison, you can compare constantly, but I think there's a lack of self-belief in a lot of people. I think there's genuinely a lot of lack of self-belief caused through confusion, caused through unknown, caused through not taking action, again, caused through like not moving forward with things. What would you say, Kay, for kind of the best practices for improving these people's confidence? What would you say is kind of like one task that you say to yourself you do every day to improve like your own confidence?
So for me, it's the little things. And I say this to every woman, every man, it's the little things. Wake up, look at yourself in the mirror and be like, do you know what? It could be worse. As bad as it sounds, you could be uglier. And that's what I think. I think, do you know what? There's people out there, as bad as it sounds, dying. I'm here. This is what I look like. It is what it is. I can't change it. So just work with what you've got and be confident with what you've got, because you are beautiful and everybody has something beautiful about them. And it's just the way you feel. I mean, get up, read a book, read a self-love book, feel good, eat some good food, go out with your friends. I think just being social, doing something will make you feel better. Whether you feel shit about your appearance or not, you are what you are and you look like what you look like.
I love that. And saw a post the other day, and they were saying, I've heard this before, but they were saying, imagine you're 90 years old, right? And you're currently 90. Imagine like you're on your deathbed kind of, level, and you've got none of your family or friends around you because they've all died or passed on or whatever. And you are just there full of aches and pains. Your skin's obviously sagging at this point and you're not in a good place at all. And then you're looking over your life and you're thinking, I wish I was 33 or 28 or 22 or 26. Sorry.
The biggest thing. I always say, fuck it. As bad as it sounds, you'll never be this age again. I'm never going to be 22 again. And I don't want to look back and think, I wish I was like more, if I was more confident, I would have gone out. Are you joking? I don't want to not go somewhere just because I'm not confident. So just do it. Just go.
You probably wouldn't think of yourself though, would you? Yeah. Like, as like, you wouldn't feel like you're ugly because you'd be like, well, I'm ugly now, or my skin's sagging, I'm old, and I'm like on my deathbed. And if you were suddenly thrown back into your age right now, you'd be like, fuck me, I'm a mate, look at me. Like, I've got my phone pinging off with my mum and dad, my friends and families are around me. Life is good. Do you know what I mean? Skin's vibrant. Damn, man.
I think the thing is, people are always looking to feel confident before they do something rather than doing the thing to make themselves feel confident.
Exactly. That's why I said just do something, read a book, go out, put something nice on, wear your favourite colour, just do something, because as long as you put positivity out, you will feel good, you will feel confident. No matter if you don't look confident, you'll feel confident, if you know what I mean. And
it builds up over time as well. And I've said this on like loads of podcasts before, and it's kind of gotten to a point over the last like few years. And I've said this a few times, and people don't tend to believe me, but I have like high functioning social anxiety. We went to the PerformWell event, and like we got to the like networking part of the evening, but I hate that. You throw me into a room with loads of people and say talk, I'm like,
Real.
Wait,
no.
What part of PerformWell?
That was a bit when we were doing the networking bit at the end with the bar, and you're like, we'd had a whole day of doing bits and pieces talking, and I was fine. Yeah, but then you said, chuck me in a room with like loads of these big CEOs, and I was like,
yeah, but you know what helps?
What?
Beer.
They kind of,
True.
kind of,
Bit of beer, bro.
or a guy who decides to challenge every person in there to push-ups.
Who was that?
Do you remember that guy?
The older guy.
The older guy. This old guy. He was like, he used to climb trees. He has an Instagram dedicated to climbing trees.
Oh,
yes,
That's cool though.
yeah. He was quirky. That's the best way to explain. He was quirky, but he started challenging people, and it diffused the room. Like everyone's tension, and anxiety just completely did. But again, it's the same thing. Like, my confidence isn't always there for public speaking. I love doing it, but sometimes you have to put the mask on to eventually take the mask off, and that's what I like to see it. Because then I live that personality. I live the person I want to be. And it just builds over time. Probably same for your modelling. Like,
yeah, I was literally about to say, so I'm not going to say, but my model name is KayJay. I have a different name. Like my family call me KayJay, but my birth name is different. And I normally say my birth name is the type of person that's shy, literally would rather stay in my bed all day long, stay with my dog and not speak to anybody. But then KayJay, it's like a different personality. I have to be confident. I'm a model. I have to go out. I have to do that. I have to keep ripped and shredded and go to the gym and stuff. Whereas me, as a person, I'm really shy and I'd love to just be in my bed all day long and with nobody else. So I do think that it is healthy to have two sides of you. One side that's like, I'm not going out, and another side that's like, do you know what, fuck it.
no.
And
Yeah,
I think
I think we've all got a bit of that. I would say the same.
Yeah, we're a lot more ambiverts, I think, in society now. There's not necessarily like not wholesome, straightforward introverts and extroverts. I think everyone's kind of blurred in the middle now. Like we have our own like personal lives, and I think everything's so busy these days. Everyone is busy, so we do need sometimes that quiet time. Like I love a gaming session with my boys on a Friday night. Splendid.
Well,
like we'll
this
sit.
is what I'm going to say to you earlier. Like before we moved on from it was like we might not feel confident in front of strangers, but with your friends, you're the most confident person.
Oh yeah.
true.
You know what I mean? So confidence is not stuck to like you as a personality. It's like who you're around and what you know. Like, and also with introversion, like a lot of people say they're introverts and they don't like talking to people. They like to stay on their own. But actually, if they talk about something they're interested in, they're the chattiest people in the world. And it's
That's
like
true.
I don't believe everyone is fully introverted or like it's a spectrum.
I think it's a situation and the scenario. It's
Yeah.
like where you are.
Yeah.
Because I get that, like all my model jobs, this is the hardest part of modelling is you don't have co-workers, you're by yourself. Like I have a different job every day. I meet different people every single day. What if I don't like them? What if they don't like
Sounds
me?
like a boxing fight.
No, honestly.
Sounds like a boxing
The model
fight. You're on your own. You meet different
You
people.
work for Vogue?
you fight.
Fuck you.
No, but that's really how it is. People literally just hate each other in the industry. And I'm just there with, I don't know, love and I just,
Catty, isn't it?
yeah, and
That's
I just
what
don't care. And that's what they hate because I'm so relaxed. They're like,
Do you find this is okay? Because you're 22 yourself.
Yeah.
Do you think there is a generational gap in modelling for these kind of like attitudes and behaviours? Apologies for interrupting the podcast. We know you're getting fully engrossed into this episode, and we really appreciate you stopping on the video on YouTube or on Spotify if you found us through one of the search pages. Make sure to leave a review and a subscription if you haven't already. But we just wanted to interject a point here that me and Nick have 15 years of coaching experience between us, and it's only getting better as we've got better guests on the podcast. The only way we can do that, though, is with the growth of our program that we've just released. We've got a 12-month PerformWell program, which has just dropped, and we'd love you guys to get involved in it. If you want to learn more details, make sure to head to the description as we've got our website in there, which can give you a full overlay of the program. We're looking to help career-driven professionals, entrepreneurs, small business owners, and anyone dominate their life by improving their lifestyle. Me and Nick like to claim ourselves as experts in this area, and if you want to check out some of our other transformations, I'm sure you do. We've got some amazing people who have performed so well off the back of this program. Have a cracking day, and we really appreciate your time. Let's get back to the podcast.
actually the younger people are nicer.
Okay.
From my experience, a lot of them are like, oh, like KayJay, like I'd love to learn, like, oh, how do you get followers? How do you do this? How do you do that? I'm definitely up for like, I'm no gatekeeper. Like I'll tell you how I did it, but it's always the older ladies. Like every single time they're like, oh, you're too tall and you're this and you're that, and they're just so jealous. It's insane. And it's like, you're literally like 20 years older than me. Shut up. It's just, I don't
That's
know.
like the equivalent of short man syndrome, but in the sense of older ladies.
That's exactly how it is in the
Because I get
industry.
short men looking at me like having to go at me for no reason.
Yep.
I'm like, just because I'm taller.
That is what the old women do.
Yeah, and it's like, you don't know that there's problems with being taller too. I'm not going to be like cry baby here and cry wolf here. But there are problems with being tall. It's not all roses, mate. Bang my head on doors, can't get clothes that fit, get bad back, gonna die younger than you. Can't lift heavy weight on my legs. Like, these are all downsides, guys. These are all
right, so at your funeral, I'll be like, how did he go out? He banged his head on a door. It was too tall for him.
Don't. You have to get a huge box casket thing to put you in.
Oh yeah, but I won't be paying for it, so it's fine.
That's your one troublesome part of life.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it is interesting you say that. What is actually the oldest like lady you've seen modelling, out of curiosity?
It sounds really bad. I never asked her age, but she looked 50s.
Okay.
She looked about 56, I'd say. But she was an absolute pain in the arse. She's one of my funniest stories. So we basically, when you get there, you have like fittings and stuff. So I had it was a fashion show, and I had been fitted for, I think it was 12 different designers. So that's a win, considering there's like 15 designers in a show, and I got fitted for 12. Like, it was really, really good. And this older lady got fitted for 1.
Really?
And I did feel really bad for her, but it's just not the look that designers want. And I put all my stuff on this chair, and she comes over and she throws my stuff off the thing, grabs this chair and sits on it. Like, that's her attitude. And she just hates everyone because of the way she looks. And I'm just like, girl, like, we're all here for the same reason. We're all here for the fashion show. We all want to feel good. You don't need to take it out on anyone else. It's just, there's so many stories of just older women that just can't handle people that are younger. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like you're an equal opportunities person as opposed to equal outcome.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure if that is the case, but there's a lot of push towards trying to get diversity in jobs, but also in regards to modelling, just trying to get anyone in to promote their minority, body complexion or whatever it is. Whereas if you're good for the job, then you'll know about it because you'll do well on the job.
Yeah.
And I feel like opportunity is what we should all be striving for, giving people the opportunity.
Well, I agree. I had on the topic of modelling as well. I wouldn't say me and Nick have done much modelling. We do like photo shoots for podcasts and stuff. I don't really know if it really counts.
Don't talk to you about that, man. I've seen your photos. It's like show me a pose.
Hey, I got compliments from Gary.
coming?
Gary giving me compliments about my style of taking photos. He did 5 for me. How many did he do for you?
What do you mean?
He did 5 and done. He was like, I like that. You're good.
Oh right, yeah. Because I need more natural. I need the talk.
Ah, right.
I need the black,
Okay. Yeah.
I get told to smile. I'm like this. He says to me, raise your. What do you say? Show your teeth. And I was like,
Yeah, but he did it phased. He didn't just say smile. He was like, right, sit there and do this, then do this, then do this. And it's like, I'm just like tweaking different areas of my body when I'm doing it.
Not good enough. I'm like, what the fuck?
But like,
It's my smile.
on the topic of modelling, there was one thing I had ages ago on Instagram. Not many people know about it, to be honest. I don't really talk about it. It's not embarrassing, but it's just weird. I had someone offer to. They wanted me to come do a photo shoot. They were building a portfolio. Mm-hmm. And in my head, I was like, I don't really post photos that are like aesthetically pleasing. I just post, this is me doing whatever I'm doing. And if it looks good enough, it looks good enough, Half the time, low light, poor stuff, whatever. Anyway, sent me it was like, I want to do a photo shoot. I was like, oh, this is cool. Get to do some modelling. Hey, happy. Anyway, turned out later down the line, this chappie had taken an interest in my content for the wrong reasons. And he said to me, he was like, I'd confirmed with him, I was like, I'll pay you 50 quid to do it. I was like, you'll pay me to do it? I was like, is this what happens in the modelling world? Very new to it all. And I was like, okay, 50 quid to go stand and just take some photos. Oh, that's not bad, Go get some dinner, go get some lunch. Nice. Turns out it was a nude modelling shoot.
Yeah.
Oh,
But not until after he'd been like, oh, this is the day and time. I was like, yeah, sound. He was like, oh, just one more thing. Didn't get around to mention it, but I'm glad you've confirmed. He was like, oh, I need you, in the nude. I do nude modelling.
Mate.
And I was like,
that's a nonce. That's not me.
I'm like, that's something you need to ask at the start
that's
of
something
it.
that should have been said at the start, because I've had something similar.
Yeah.
And he was talking me through it, going, right, oh, you'll look great in this, sending me all these photos of people that he's done. And I'm like, cool. And then as it gets closer to like booking a date, he then sends me a few of this guy with just his underwear. And like, I don't know what they do with male models these days, but they give him the tightest wife on, so his dick and balls like pops out. And I'm just staring at his like face like that, and the camera's down there like that. And I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that.
No.
Why would I do that?
No.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? A Calvin Klein shoot?
But
like,
they just expect you to go along with it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I've had so many photo shoots, and they're like, oh, it's like lingerie or it's bikini, and I'm like, do I look like an OnlyFans girl? Sorry, but no thanks. Like, I get fine, like a few cheeky bikini pictures, but it's the way you post them. Like,
Do you think it's manipulated
Slippery
as
slope.
well by the people who distribute your content too? Do you think there is an essence of that, or do you find that there's a lot of honesty? So if people are saying like, look, we're going to do these bikini photos, they're for this reason only, or do you find people take bikini photos or whatever and then they distribute them differently in terms of trying to get like, I don't know, more kind of like the sexy outlet more than like the body positivity outlet, for example?
I think it depends who it's for. So,
Okay.
like, I've had a few bikini shoots. I don't really do many, but I've done like 2 or 3 in the 8 years. And if it's for a brand, fine. I don't mind. If it's for like Bow & Tea or Pretty Little Thing or something, fine. By all means. I did one for Bow Avenue and was great, was fine. The pictures they took were classy. It wasn't like it was like the wrong angle and stuff like that. But then again, I had a shoot with another photographer that was a high fashion photographer, right? Oh, this is traumatizing, I'm not even gonna lie. And we get to the shoot and it's on, I think it was Leap Beach. And we get there and he has like this whole suitcase of bikinis and all this stuff, and it was all legit, and it had all the company names on it that we were working with and whatever. And my mum's my manager, I don't know if I mentioned, she came with me. And this man, right, the photo shoot was great. Like an hour in, 2 hours in was great. Doing all these bikinis, going through about 30 bikinis at this time. And then he's like, oh, I'm too hot, right? So he goes into the changing room and he takes his top off. He comes out in not even Speedos, right? They're like the miniest shorts you've ever seen in your life. And I could just see like hair hanging out. I was like, oh my God. And I was just trying not to look, right, while this guy was shooting. And he goes, oh, KayJay, like, you're really tall. Can you go back a bit? I'm like, yeah, I get that all the time. I go back a bit. He then literally starts going like this, like taking the pictures of me. And I look and I can just see his balls hanging out.
Oh my God.
And it was honestly traumatizing.
like a jackass shoot.
Yeah, and I was
Like
looking
fake
at...
balls hanging out. Dirty grandpa.
Yeah.
I wish they were fake.
Yeah.
And I was looking at my mum like, his balls are hanging out. I was so embarrassed because obviously I was just
Smile.
in the bikini. And then like the more he was taking pictures, he was like that, and everything was coming out, and it was traumatizing. So long story short, yeah,
Why would you do that?
you have to be really careful with who you say yes and who you say no to.
Note
There's a lot of
yourself.
creepy people out there.
Never again. But he was a high fashion photographer,
Yeah.
and he was so well known. Like everybody knew him.
I just feel like
Did everyone know him for
sexualised.
certain
Yeah.
reasons rather than?
I just feel like everything's sexualized these days, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like, everything. It just feels like everything goes down that route. Like humans
Yeah.
are fucking dirty little bastards. mate. We like, I don't know what it is, but like when it comes to fashion models, I'm surprised that you don't have more of those problems.
Oh, we do.
You do.
All the time.
Yeah.
Like the amount of messages I have, like, oh, can you come and do this? But I've got a really good gut feeling. Like I can suss people out as soon as I meet them, and I'm like, no. And I leave, or I tell somebody where I am, or luckily my mum, she goes through a lot of my emails and stuff, and before it even gets to me, she deletes it. If
Good thing your
it's-
dad wasn't the manager. Imagine that.
God, KO.
That would have been a different situation.
That man would have no balls. They'll be hanging somewhere else.
Literally. No, but they both retired early, so they're both kind of my managers.
Right.
But mum's predominantly, yeah.
yeah.
So,
What does your dad think about it? Is he on?
So he's a
board?
businessman, so he's very, go on, girl, make your money, do whatever you need to do. But equally, he's very protective. Like, I'll get a job come in. Say, for example, today actually I got a job come in. They were like, oh, we need you in London for like a restaurant promo thing. £70. Bear in mind,
you're getting paid £70.
bear in mind, yeah, they wanted me from 5 a.m. till like 6 p.m, right? They wanted me to get the train because it was central and it was just easier and there's no parking. Tell me why the train was £56.
They weren't paying for it.
No. How do you expect me to go for a job for £70, right? So automatically I'm like, no. But then jobs like that, I say to my dad, I'm like, is it worth it? Do you think I should? And he's like, no. So then I just don't go. So he is really like brutal in the way of like, if I don't see that they're trying to manipulate me and not pay me enough, he'll be like, no, ask for double. So in that way, he does help because he's just like, no, KayJay, double them or whatever. So he does help in that way, but yeah.
Not so much in the other side of things of the modelling.
No.
Has he ever had his say in it out of curiosity? Like,
yes and no. He's very proud of me, but equally, everybody does everything for free. So the industry is really difficult because a lot of the time it's not paid, and I'm not here to mess about. Like, I'm not doing it for free. Like, you wouldn't work for free, would you? Like, how am I going to live?
Yeah.
So a lot of the time he gets annoyed because everybody asks, like, oh, can you do this for free? Can you do that for free? No. So he tends to stay out of it just because that really, really frustrates him. But he does help me with things like that.
When would you do something for free? Has there ever been a time that you would be like, right, yeah, this is something I want to do it for?
I think for me, if it's local, fine. If it's a friend or I know someone, fine, no problem, I'll help you out. Or if it's something like huge, like a Victoria's Secret fashion show or like a fashion show like for Gucci or something like that, great, win, I'll do that. But actually, funny you say that. I had a Chanel fashion show. Tell me what, wasn't paid.
you weren't paid?
Wasn't paid.
You weren't
Really?
You weren't paid for Chanel?
That's crazy.
What?
And this is why I say the industry is...
Did it open doors though that led to more
Well,
paid
yeah.
gigs from that?
Yeah,
directly.
but they didn't know that because it
No.
wasn't from them.
Yeah.
For free. This is why I say the modelling industry is shit. Because they expect you to do everything for free. And I'm not doing that because they get random girls that think, oh, I want to be a model, I'll do it. And they'll do it for free. And it's just, that's why I say sometimes I'm kind of glad that the industry was tall, skinny and whatever because there were less people that could do that. But nowadays, anybody just does it for free. And then the models that have been doing it for years don't get paid.
But I guess a good thing with you especially is like if you, when you've got 20,000 Instagram followers and growing, you could then start, you know, using that to monetize stuff anyway.
Well, that
so
is
you
the
could
thing.
make money modeling and with that and diversify.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
since COVID, I kind of started influencing, built a TikTok base. I've got nearly 200k on TikTok.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I'm
Didn't
kind
realise. Damn. That's
yeah.
God damn it. I thought I was going to have it there. Shut up, all right? I'm trying my best.
Oh,
I tried.
TikTok's more brutal than Instagram though, isn't it?
TikTok's a hard one. Yeah,
Yeah.
very hard.
It's hard to crack as well in terms of like just being on. Like, I think people, when you're digesting TikTok content, especially for modeling, because I don't really understand the concept for modeling, educative content concept, is I find I can understand why things have gone viral and why things are catchy. But modeling stuff, like, how do you stand out from a crowd when you're doing modeling work on social media?
You don't. So initially, when I started, it was in COVID. It was just like, what I'd do is like put an outfit on from a brand and do like a skit or like do a trending dance with my mum or something. And actually, one of my first videos to go viral got 3 million. And it was my mum had like a 80s party or something, and she wanted to be funny and dress up as an old lady. So I did like wrinkles and everything on her face. So she was sat down and I had a nice outfit on and was doing this viral TikTok dance, and she was in the background. And then my mum gets up and starts dancing, but they didn't realise that a granny could have moves like that. So that got 3 million, and then I just started growing from there. So I just started doing like skits and stuff.
You'll act as an old man next week.
Yeah, I can do it.
I'll do your face.
Mate, light work.
Do a
Skits
cheeky
are
little
my
dance.
thing. Tea towels, best way to imitate being
I
a
can
lady.
pretend you're my dad.
Huh?
I can pretend you're my dad, and that's not, you're shorter, right?
Me
So,
be your dad.
Yeah, give me my dad. We'll put some wrinkles on you.
Right.
I'll help. I'll do your makeup.
Oh, perfect. So,
Get you dancing,
so glad.
and they'll be like, "Oh, his dad's got a big."
The worst
ass."
thing, you've now said this on a public podcast, and you know there's people who watch this who are followers who are going to sit there and be like, yes, I'd love to see Dan do that. And you know the worst thing is, I'm a people pleaser.
So
I
you
will
just do
fucking
it.
do
dressed up
it.
as a woman once with Tommy Galpin, and I did a gym thing.
Yeah, and you know what the
dance
worst thing
or
is?
whatever.
Only got 5k views.
know.
I was gutted. I spent so much
no.
time. I got described as, what are the people from Little Britain? The girl who wears pink, can't remember her name, blonde hair.
Oh God.
Oh, Vicky Pollard.
Vicky Pollard.
Yeah.
I got called Vicky Pollard for the day.
Well, you
and
did look like Vicky Pollard.
I know I did.
Yeah.
I know I did.
I need to see this.
It was
now.
like a powerlifting Britney Spears.
The only thing with that is buried deep in my post, so have fun finding it. And I have
gonna be
said,
there later, like.
you're going to score. You know, I will show you after this because I got it saved on my phone.
Please.
It's one of those pieces of content that I enjoy. Kind of, I think with social media, that is me being myself at its max. And like putting on an outfit was that acting thing I was speaking about earlier. Doing that, Dan turned round to me, your client Dan Wilson. he turned around to me. He was like, "You doing this for charity?" And in my head, I was like, yes, I'm doing this for charity. Yes, fuck, I'm not doing this off my own back. No, why would I do that? But that's the reality of social media. I think that's when I enjoy it so much. But the thing is, like, we've said this in the past, that's my personality coming through. That's like me at my prime. But the problem is, when it comes to bringing fuck's sake, I can't say that word. Educative content, education content.
Oh,
I'm not doing that one. When I try to do that, the thing that I find is because it doesn't sell to clients or bring clients in, because there's a balance between being a coach and a clown, and that's something that I got taught. And the problem is with content like that, it's great and people love it, but people don't look at that and go, "I'd sign him as a coach," because there's a lack of
But
seriousness.
This is the thing. TikTok, I think, is for people to be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can make a lot of money on it, but people only make money when they're themselves, or family content, or things like that, or podcasts. A lot of podcast people have got a lot of money and a lot of followers from TikTok. So maybe something.
Our podcast is doing all right.
We set up a
It's not getting
podcast.
followers really.
No.
The actual views are good.
The views are good. They're pretty consistent, but the followers don't tend to stack up for... I think the thing is as well, like we've said it for a while, it's a time thing for us. For me to sit there and schedule the amount of like reels that we've got, that's why we... thanks, Louis. That's why Louis does it a lot of the time on Instagram. But we've said as well, like for the podcast to grow, we're focused on Instagram, get Instagram nailed, then spam it all on TikTok.
Nice.
And then
Obviously
just...
YouTube.
And
Spotify,
YouTube. Yeah, YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah.
It's the main avenues. But I agree, like podcasts grow really well when people are seeing short clips. Like one of my highest performing pieces of content was when we had Anna Hunt on the podcast and she spoke about the earnings from OnlyFans models. You know, and it's that kind of stuff that generates interest and virality, and, you know, it's interesting. Like, people are going to take bits of your conversation with us today and be like, you know what, we loved hearing about KayJay. We loved hearing about kind of routes you had in, like different confidence issues, you know, how it built up in the industry. And these things, the stories tell, and they sell to people too. But yeah, it's all very interesting when you go into the social media matrix, doesn't it? Like,
100%.
we've been in the game for so long now. I started doing similar to you. I started doing TikTok and Instagram post-COVID or during COVID because I had nothing else to do. And yeah, you still see different avenues now, and I think the game has changed quite a lot. One thing I did want to come on to, though, we spoke about your training. Now, we want to speak a bit, because you said you did Pilates is one of your kind of main focuses. What is your kind of routine like when it comes to training and exercise? Because I'm sure people will be interested in the stuff that you do yourself.
Yeah, so for me, modelling is very hit or miss. Like, sometimes I get loads of work and sometimes I get not much. So my kind of workout is different every week, but I try to at least go to the gym every day, or do something every day. So I've just got a puppy as well. So I walk him for like an hour, 2 hours at least, and then I make sure I at least go to the gym or do Pilates for the day. But with modelling, it's never in Southampton. So I'm always up in London, Basingstoke, abroad. So I do have to try and find time to go to the gym. But if you want to make it work, you will. So at the minute, though, I've probably definitely 5 times a week, the gym and Pilates and walking.
And what is the focus of the gym? Like, why are you going to the gym 5 days a week? What are you trying to build?
I think for me it's toning.
Yeah.
Because I like the way I look. I just want to make it look better. I don't really want to change anything. And obviously, being a model, you can't really change too much. But I do want to tone and kind of just feel good as well. So that's...
Have you noticed any like fitness model shoots becoming more like what's the word? You know, photographers for fitness model clothing, etc. Have you seen more of those opportunities come up since you've started?
I'm not going to lie.
Training.
I've had about 5 or 6 people in the last few days message and be like, "Oh, we'd love to do a gym shoot. We need a curvy model." And I'm like, "Curvy, but okay." So yeah, I've done quite a few shoots recently, actually, gym shoots, and I'm loving it because everybody's nice, everybody's happy, and I quite like doing reels and stuff. So that's fun in the gym industry. Yeah,
I think it's good stuff when you can get into that area with fitness as well. I honestly love it. There's something we did want to talk about is. There's 2 different ways the industry goes. A lot of people tend to be either dropping body fat, so then they become, you know, their skinny selves that they've always wanted to be. I've got clients turning around who literally said, the other day, said I've been motivated by the skinny girls on TikTok, and I was like, right, okay, here we go. This is an interesting conversation. Then we've obviously got other people who are kind of going for the kind of skinny, now strong movement is what we're moving into. What is your kind of opinion on the strong not skinny movement that seems to be going on social media?
I don't know, I'm of two minds because I low-key want that. But then also I do think, I don't know, because TikTok's really, it's really hard because a lot of young girls see videos like, oh, if that's all I've got to do at the gym to look like that, I'll do it. And I think it is really, I wouldn't say toxic, but it can get toxic. So I don't know, I'm a bit iffy on that.
You mean in terms of like, you said you want to be like the skinnier side, like the leaner side,
slimmer, yeah,
the feminine. Like I'm saying feminine like that because I've had women like come to me to train with me, and they say I want to get like a bigger booty, toned thighs, a nice toned back. I don't want to be too masculine.
That's exactly what I want. Yeah,
that's pretty much every female that I've speak to over the last 8 years, or whatever, have told me they want. I've very rarely ever met a female that wants that powerlifting shape. I'm not saying that it's not possible to achieve for a female. There's some out there that do it, but I do think some females do go overboard with it and then develop a body they don't actually want.
Saying that, I know quite a few people that have had like anorexia and things like that, and then have started going to the gym and got absolutely wham, and then they're like, oh, actually, I don't want to look like that. So you're right on that side. I think you kind of have to find a healthy, happy medium on that.
Yeah, and females, like you have to realise that it's not easy to build muscle.
No,
it's not easy to build muscle for men. Let alone.
Especially being tall. Don't even.
Yeah.
There's a friend actually at the gym, and she has the biggest bum I've ever seen in my life. But she's 5 foot. And I'm like, well, that's why I'm literally a whole foot taller than you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's really hard for tall people to build muscle and to grow. It's really
100%. And I'll tell you something very quickly, because actually you'll relate to this very well. But I used to compete in bodybuilding, physique in particular, so not like the massively jacked version.
Yeah.
And being 6'4.5" is difficult because even though I was
not
as wide,
and a half.
Yeah, I always add.
Got to have the add half. I do that.
Every inch counts. So
not wrong.
So I am 6'4.5", and I'm taller than pretty much every competitor. I'm heavier than every competitor because I've got more muscle for the frame, and I'm as wide as every other competitor. But when you compare us in a photo and you put us side by side,
Looks different.
They look better, proportional. They look proportionally better than I do because I'm stretched out.
But then it depends what you think.
Yeah.
Because I'd look at a man and be like, that looks better, taller. Do you know what I mean? I think it depends on like obviously on the judges and stuff. But I would look at a man if they were taller and think, okay. Whereas I just guess it's preference. But the same with me, I'm like, some videos I look literally like a plank. I'm like, why do I look like that? But then other women look completely different. Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it?
It is tough. It is. And the thing is, like, me and Nick have very different body types. We spoke on this in another podcast. Like, I'm 6'1". I'm not going to add the half in there, but I'm 6'1". So, like, for me, my everything is kind of more stocky. But even then, I'm not like short by any means. But the frame is just different, and how I put on weight is different. Nick was talking about my glutes. I've always had big glutes, just naturally. They're just there. Yeah. Everyone asked this.
It's because I.
There's a paywall these days, people. I charge for this.
I posted the podcast intro onto stories to show like a little behind the scenes set in the podcast, and his ass was the first thing that walked across the screen. And
yes, my little booty decides to do its little dash.
Everyone's now noticing it, even when it's not to do with it.
I feel like you're posting it on purpose these days. You're like, a new podcast intro is just going to be me walking across setting things up.
It might get you views.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've said about it for a while about doing like content based around it, but I don't want to be one of those people. But the weird thing is, I've seen actually there has been a rise in blokes and glute content, but like kind of taking a piss in a way where it's like hyper focusing on the bum. And I'm like, I love it in some regards because I think it's quite funny. I like it.
There's one guy that I saw that did it in bright yellow, like what they got, like spray paint shorts, bright yellow, and you could see everything. And I think there's a fine line between funny and not. Because every single video he posted was like a new pair of shorts. I'm like, I don't want to see that much of you right now. Please,
were they different neon colours by chance? Yeah, I think I know who you're on about. And he starts every video facing the other direction. I know who you're on about. I don't know the name, but I know the account.
I've seen a guy who literally is wearing a thong. And he's painted the muscles of his ass onto his actual ass, so when he moves his leg, you can see the muscle move in and out. Like,
is this for educative purposes?
Yeah. But it's literally his ass with a thong, and you're like, you can almost make out his arsehole, and it's like, what the fuck are we watching?
This is social media these days. Yeah, you know what? And I'll say fuck once in a podcast, and we'll get taken down. Yeah. But no, it is interesting, isn't it? I think this is the thing again, like. same with like body standards for blokes. Like we're the expectation, I think, these days of people are moving towards that muscular look again. It's that kind of lean athletic look that we have to kind of strive for and look for, which makes it very difficult for people who are like skinny fat, for people who are obese. You know, it's difficult because everyone's got a different body structure. And like the blokes that I've trained in the past, I've even said to them, I said, you're not going to look like the person that you deem you're in your head you're thinking about, because fortunately me and Nick and yourself have had education in this area now, but like it makes it very difficult to kind of get to that attainable physique when you're thinking, okay, someone's 5'7" and they're comparing themselves to a 6'4" model, you know, and it is tough. And like, I'm sure for yourself as well, you've probably, as you said, had comparisons between shorter models when their insertions are different and everything sits differently on the body.
And that's the thing. So I've got a twin sister. I don't know if you guys know. And
I think you told me this actually.
Yeah, and we are very, very different. So she's smaller. She's 5'7", and she's like the curviest. She's so beautiful. She's got a really nice bum, nice boobs. Like she is exactly what you'd want. She's hourglass. And then there's me that's like completely different, like really tall and slimmer. Like, and it's just you can't compare yourself. You have to learn to not compare yourself, because growing up we both did. I mean, not so much to each other because we're both very different. We just never really compared ourselves to each other. But that kind of made me think we are different and there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to try and love yourself the way you are.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
And you nailed it. Like, you know, just because, for example, I'm tall and I've got the tall gene and it's a really blessed thing to have.
Yeah.
Proportionally, if you are shorter, you're a short king. Don't attack me because proportionally you look better.
Exactly.
And it will be a lot easier for you to look in proportion than it will for me. So use that strength to your advantage, because you can get jobs in the fitness industry better than I might be able to because of that, for example. So,
but I don't know, because it depends. Yeah. It depends what they're looking for.
100%.
Like, they might be looking for.
At least from what I've had the conversation with you today, I've kind of understood.
Yeah.
Is that maybe I don't quite know fashion modelling as much as I thought I did. But
yeah. Oh, there's so much that goes on. Honestly, people think, oh, it's so easy, honey. Do it for a day, and you'll see it's not.
People have said that about PT. They just say you train people. I'm like, do you want to come work a day?
Yeah.
Do you want to come do this? Because you can come do this. You can deal with the kind of just like. It's almost like a balance between using the negativity that you hear and kind of creating a positive narrative out of it. I think that's almost like constantly what you're doing with things. Because same with modelling probably. It's that negative feeling of someone saying something about your physique and then being like, oh, but actually that's an area that I quite like. So this is actually, and then, you know, going off on that kind of like narrative there. And actually this comes down to like a motivational thing. Do you ever feel like your motivation has ever dropped for modelling, or is just like long term you're still like, yeah, I'm in it, you know?
Genuinely, it is so freaking difficult to stay motivated. Like recently as well, it's so hard because it's like every single day it's about what you look like. It's about your makeup, it's about your hair, it's about your dress, it's about the way something fits on you. It's all about just you. And the pressure's hard. Like, I go to a job and I think, shit, what if they don't like me? What if it doesn't fit me? What if they don't like this? What if they don't like that? And you just have to be confident and just think, right, they've employed me because they like my look. It is what it is. And if they don't, then do you know what I mean? It's off.
I love that. Mark Manson, settle up, not giving a fuck.
Honestly.
Fuck off.
I like it. What is your motivator then? What keeps you going?
I think as cringe as it is, my mum.
Okay.
Like, she's just great. She's just like, you've got this, Kay, come on. Like, if I'm having a bad day, I'll go home and she's like, I don't know, made cookies, or like I go home and she's like, oh, you've got this, or like, I don't know. I think it's just a family. Like, I'm so lucky to have family, and I'm just quite a motivated person. I want to do well. I want to be rich. I just want to do well. Yeah. So I think just telling myself, like, come on, go, like, get into it. And recently I've been reading a book called The Secret.
Yeah, I've read it.
Yeah.
And that's
well,
really...
How'd you find that?
That's really motivating me.
Is it?
When I first read it, because I read half of it, and I just thought, this is a load of shit. And I just thought, But then I read it again, and my mindset completely changed.
I've been through phases with that kind of law of manifestation, and I've seen other people go through something similar, where it does the first few years where you like read that kind of stuff and you really believe in it. You do start to see like a weird synchronicity, serendipity they call it, where good things start happening around you. And then there's also been equally bad times where I've relied on it, but it's not helped me at all. And I'm kind of back in like a more balanced view about it. But I do believe it's very powerful, and it is 100% real, and it does help people. But I do think like a little bit of a, what's the best way to describe it? Feet in the dirt, heads in the clouds is the best way to describe it. So have that law of manifestation and the secret as your primary thing that you're like dreaming about, what you want to achieve and what you've already achieved it, but have your feet actually firmly planted doing something constantly, no matter what.
Love that.
Action, law of attraction.
Yeah.
They say.
I agree. That's spot on. It's the best way. I think we conclude and bring things to a little round in there as well, because I think we could talk for ages. So you never know. Part 2 in the making. But you know, you've been stupendous to have on, Kay. We've really appreciated you coming on and talking on the podcast. I think there's going to be so much valuable information people take away from this, hands down. We obviously shout out of the guests you have on the podcast. So where can people find more about yourself?
So mainly I use Instagram and TikTok. You can find me there. And my DMs are open, so if you've got any work or any inquiries or want to chat or advice, come and let me know.
Lovely stuff. Well, thank you very much for joining. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and make sure to leave us a review and drop a follow if you haven't already on Spotify. We appreciate everyone listening, and the more people that listen, the more amazing guests like Kay that we can get on. So please keep listening, keep watching, and let us know your views. We'll catch you later.
Ciao, ciao.